Hey everybody. So this is going to be a fairly straightforward and easy pattern to follow. This is for a uh, it's called a tasset, but it's also more commonly known as like thigh armor, which sits off the side of a corset if you're a female, or a belt. Most normally, like a belt, hangs off the side, covers your hip and thigh, kind of depending on the look you're going for. So, and this is going to be the one of my fairy leaf designs, but it's the thigh armor, or leaf tasset. A tasset it's called. So anyway, here's a lot of the pieces. The main top part is divided into two pieces here, and I'll kind of explain why. There's the main part that's going to connect with loops. If you want to use loops like this to connect it to your belt, you can do that way. Or if you also look here on the pattern, there's these longer loops here on both sides, and that's in case you want to run a belt like through, and through those holes and then through the other side. So it sits this way. It sits up higher on the belt instead of hanging from the belt. It actually, you thread this through those holes. Okay, so there's a couple ways to do that, depending on you, on how you want to kind of connect it to your outfit, either through these or use the holes again with these loops. And here's in the pattern, there's these pieces here for the loops. So there's those there, and then there's also 1, 2, 3 places for little D-rings, in case you want to hang something else from this tasset or thigh armor. So those are available. Just a little, the light gray is just for placement. The holes you'd punch out, obviously. But those are optional. If you don't want them, you don't have to. Also, this piece right here that I punched out is for a optional place for putting insignia or anything else you want to put in this space that goes right here in the middle of the top piece. So it's just it's an extra space for insignia, logos, symbols, whatever. But also if you wanted to take this piece and put another, like if you're threading the belt through and over the top, you could hang a little pouch from here, and so the pouch would be in this space, kind of centered, easy access. But I wanted to show you an example of using this. This is a Forest Elf symbol, and I laser etched it and then tooled it to give it some depth. But I think it came out pretty cool. I like the symbol. That's why I put it there. So since this is a Forest Elf / fairy tasset, I wanted to incorporate that idea. So I cut it out, like you see here. I'll include the symbol if anybody's interested. But so I did this piece, and I did this piece right here, and so it's gonna fit. You can see the holes are there. I need to sew it in place. Okay, and these two holes here also line up with those two holes. Okay, so this is the top piece, connects to the belt, D-rings, all that. So I need to sew that next. But before I get to that, let me show you the bottom piece where the leaves are going to connect. On the pattern, you'll notice there's holes on the corners that are darker, and there's a hole here in the middle. The ones that are not light gray, but the darker gray or the dark black, these are the 3, 1, 2, 3, that are going to line up with this hole here, the bottom hole here, and the top, or that one there on the left side. So 1, the bottom, and 2 and 3. Okay, so those line up, and they're going to go under. When you rivet them, they're going to go under like that. Okay, so what I would do is, because these get the D-rings, I would probably do this one last, just because it goes all the way through. We get 1, 2, and 3 pieces of leather. Okay, so, but getting back to this piece here, let me show you something. The lighter gray holes, those are for, these are just suggestions, but these are for where you're going to rivet the leaves. Okay, so in this pattern, I have, you're going to need 12 of the larger leaves and then 6 of the smaller one. Okay, and let me show you kind of how that's supposed to lay out. The holes here, the light colored holes, again, as suggestions, you can arrange this however you want, but I put the holes there so you can kind of get an idea of how they're supposed to be placed. So I place them like that, like that, like that. Yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of placement. And the other 4. Okay, so there's the main leaves, and then the smaller ones. There's holes as well, but it's up to you how you want, like I said, how you want to place these so that everything works and is kind of covered up. And you might even want to try, if you have different shaped leaves, then you might want to use those. I know I have my other fairy belts. I use maple leaves and I use oak leaves. This is just a generic one that I'm using, just a generic leaf shape. So that's kind of how that's supposed to lay out on the leather. And I have what I'm using. I should put these aside. I'm using a lighter weight leather. This is probably a 2 ounce. This is, I think it was a 5 ounce. Yeah, 5.5 ounce. This is probably 2. Yeah, it's soft enough and thin enough. It's probably about a 2 ounce. And I wanted it a little bit lighter, just to act as a background, darker because also the background. And once I have all these leaves on here, it's going to weigh down a little bit. So I didn't want anything too heavy weight-wise, so that it's not adding additional weight on top of the leaves. Okay, so that's what I'm using here. Yeah, so next steps. I'm going to use a little template here, these little holes, to kind of mark down. You can kind of see where I started marking holes. And you could use a stitching awl to just, you put this in place and then mark with the holes through to the leather, so that you can go back with a hole punch and punch those out. But my next step, first I'm going to get this sewn on into place. I'm going to get the little D-rings on here, get the loops on here, so that when it's ready, so then I can work on this, get all the leaves, and then I just have to connect 1, 2, 3, the 2 pieces together. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so just a little progress to show you. I went ahead and got, like I said, I got this piece stitched to the main body. I got the little loops here for the belt loops riveted. You can see those there in the back. I got the D-rings, this one and this one, finished. And then I got the first one right here riveted down, because this second hole is actually going to line up with this one of the main holes here. So this one and these 2 on the sides line up with this hole and this one and this one. Okay, so I'll do this one last, since I need to put the little D-ring in there and then rivet it through here, through this, and this one. So I'll need a fairly larger rivet instead of the smaller ones, like here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and next is getting all the leaves, like I mentioned before, lined up with the holes that they're supposed to go to. So I'm going to do that. And just a reminder that, I think I said it just a minute ago, but here's the guide. If you want to use these as a guide for the leaves, go for it. These are just estimates on how I'm going to be using it. But for your use, I always say, measure, measure, measure. Lining up the leaves before you actually put them on the leather, or even before you actually put the holes in the leather. Like I haven't put them in yet. I'm gonna make sure that they line up where they should go first, before I commit and put those holes in there. Okay, so I recommend doing that as well. All right, so I'm gonna work on this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I got the leaves placed, and the goal you're trying to do on this, at least when laying these out, is you're trying to cover up like the rivets, so that it's not totally visible, and it gives it a little bit better effect. These up here along top, those are going to get covered once I rivet this in place, so those are okay. And if you really wanted to give it a little bit cleaner on the back side, you could actually cut off these stems here, right there at the top. You don't have to. That's totally up to you. Just so that when you flip it over, those aren't poking out. It's gonna be your preference. But so I'm gonna go ahead and get this riveted using these 3 holes here. These pieces together. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna make sure do this part last with the D-ring I have over here, a little D-ring. Do that last so I can get it lined up with that hole. Okay, be right back. Okay, well here it is, finished. I have it on the mannequin here, and I'll get some better pictures, but wanted to just kind of show you how it looks on the mannequin. Hangs well. And it's, like I said, it's from a belt, but like I mentioned before, if you were to cut those loops here, 2 on this side, 2 on the other, and run the belt through these loops, this would sit higher on your hip. So if you're looking for something a little bit higher, you can position it there to make it fit better or sit better on your outfit. But otherwise, it came out well. I'm happy with it. I think it'd be pretty cool. I can hang from here. I have some of those wand holsters that I could hang from there, or a small dagger or something like that would be pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to take a couple more pictures with the mannequin here, different angles, just so you can see it. But otherwise, if you have any questions about it, let me know. You can find me on Facebook or Etsy or TikTok, Instagram, any of those platforms. Message me if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to help. All right, thanks. Good luck. Bye.